What is going on, everybody? It's good to be back. Good to be back. So obviously you saw that little a little intro there. I just made that thing kind of quick today, but it was a little fun one. Had a good oh boy, geez, I'm trying to remember back. It's so that the old brain here, but yeah, last week was kind of a whirlwind. Got to went to Jason's last week to do a wild turkey pick on Tuesday. Got back. We did obviously his live on Wednesday night. Thursday, I was out golfing. And then back on the road Thursday night, back to Cincinnati to meet up with some friends and my wife for a few days there. And finally got back on Sunday. So looking forward to yes, Top Dog. Thank you very much. Appreciate the letters. But anyway, I'll show some of the pictures and stuff. Just a couple of the where you saw that little intro and stuff from. But there was a friend of ours who this is in like downtown Cincinnati somewhere, and somehow she came across this mural that was on the wall, and it felt obviously very appropriate to have to visit the Solidarity Wall. So I was a little pressed for time, so I didn't have a lot of time to spend there, but sure probably could have come up with a few more clever ideas if I would have had a little more time. But got out of there, and got back home on Sunday. Had a lot of good times with everybody. Yeah, Tuesday was a really fun day. Doing our barrel pick at Wild Turkey. Ended up with 3 bourbons there, so a fantastic day there. So yeah, whirlwind the past week or so. Yeah, last Wednesday did the live with Jason. Had a good time there. Was not going to do wasn't going down the Solidarity road again because I knew I had to get up early and get after it on Thursday. So was looking forward to that. But I'm glad to be back. It's good. It's been a couple weeks. I think the Tuesday before that, it might have been actually at the Brewers game, I believe is what it was. So anyway, it's been one of those weeks, but a lot of people in here. Let me just go back real quick. Mr. Erickson was in here first. Good to see you, Randall. Thanks, buddy. Brady the Great. Good to see you, buddy. There's my man, Top Dog. Good to see you. What do we got? Our Roy R. Walk. Good to see you, Roy. Glad you're back at it. The Ball Buster number 2, Mr. Travis Robeson. Good to see you, T. Who else we got here? The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Top Jimmy. Good to see you, Toby, as always. What else we got? Johnny, good to see you as well. Well, it looks like we'll at least get yeah. So tonight will be 5 ryes and 1 bourbon. We'll see whether the ryes will somehow outshine the 1 bourbon that's in here. So I know what the bottles are. I just don't know in what order. My wife came in and poured them and did all that. So I don't have any idea what in what order they are. So there's my partner in Kai, Mr. Roger Reese. Good to see you, buddy. What else we got here? I'm trying to get through this. I'm gonna get after it a little bit. So while I was doing that, hopefully everybody's kind of got their entries for, I believe 2 things just dropped a couple of days ago. The Four Roses LE, I think you can get in on that. So if you haven't, you should get an email from them. They'll I think you can, I think it's through email. I don't know what the deal is with the in-person part, or if they're even actually doing the in-person one. I saw the email that came through. How's it going, Tom? Good to see you, buddy. I'll see Tom not this week, obviously, but the following Labor Day, approaching Labor Day weekend. So but yeah, I don't know if they're doing the in or the online stuff or the in-person stuff, I should say, for Four Roses or not. So let me know in the comments if they're going to be doing that. So, oh boy, this guy, they let him in. So good to see you, buddy. What else we got? Mr. Cloud, Mr. John Cloud, good to see you. Hello and cheers to all my whiskey peeps. Good to see you, John. Oh boy, the other ball buster. How's it going, brother? Good to see you. Hopefully it stops raining and you have less hurricanes and stuff by you. I know it's been a brutal summer for you guys out there. That's for darn sure. So let's see what else we got here. A lot of stuff going on. So there's the cocktail queen. Good to see you, Renee. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Mr. Benny Drammond. Good to see you, Benny. What else we got? Paulie P, SVP in the house. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Mr. Aaron Howard is cheers everyone, sipping some Barrel Foundation and smoking. Oh, very nice evening for you right there. Cheers, brother. Oh, let's see. Okay, I think I'm almost caught up. We'll get after this thing a little bit. But anyway, so all right, so yeah, if you guys haven't signed up for the Four Roses stuff, get online, get in there, get your entries in for that. And I also believe Makers just released their stuff today for I don't know, was either some information. I don't know if you could sign up or if it was just information, but I think they were just kind of giving everybody a heads up that their new release is coming out here pretty soon. That looked like it had some older whiskeys and stuff in it. So excited for that. So all right, so here we go. So here was a couple of snapshots of my trip in Cincinnati with the wife and a few friends. So here was number one. So there you go. You guys can see that. So this is just a small little area. Obviously, I blew up some of the solidarity part, but figured may as well just hold that thing up. Holding up solidarity felt very appropriate at that point. So that was kind of a fun one. And then we kind of got after this one. So that was probably the most appropriate one right there. So if someone was going to be passed out in front of solidarity, it was gonna definitely be me. So, but it was a really really fun weekend. A lot of stuff going on. While we were there, we went to this grocery store. I think it was called Jungle Gyms, and oh my lord, that thing was absolutely absolutely ridiculous. That place, it had everything from around the world, different sections for countries and all kinds of stuff. But if you're from Cincinnati or you've been there and you've experienced that, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, and you ever find yourself in in Cincinnati, get over to that Jungle Gyms. I think that's what it was called, Jungle Gyms. Um, it that place was that thing was ridiculous. So anyway, I don't know if they have more of them around. I think it's just those two, but yeah, I can see why you need to take like PTO just to like spend a day in that place. It's so massive, but it was pretty cool. Had a lot of things. I'll say it was pretty cool being able to do a little bit of grocery shopping all while being able to enjoy a beer. I don't know if you could buy a whole boatload of cigars. Maybe to be honest, it was maybe one of the best humidors I've ever been in. They had such great cigars. The best part would have been if I would have been able to smoke that while walking around inside, but I'm pretty sure they would have frowned upon that. But it's pretty cool. And yeah, John, take all my money. It would have been all that. You could definitely do some damage in there. So anyway, all right. So as you guys saw a title, you know, is rye whiskey actually better than bourbon? Well, what I did tonight was I chose five rye whiskeys and one bourbon, mixed in the one bourbon. We'll see if it stands out amongst the others. The only difference is the ryes, I know what they are. The bourbon, I don't. So that will be a little bit different. And my wife will probably stop in before and drop it on the floor or whatever. So and then I'll know exactly what we're talking about. So other than that, let's see, which location did you visit? That's a very good question. Um, I don't know which one it was. That's a good question. So good to see you, James. Evening, everyone. All right, so let's get after this thing. So obviously we're gonna ABC. Thank you to to Top Dog for saving me from that misery that I had a couple months back when I was trying to do letters and numbers and math, all kinds of good stuff. Now it makes it easy. I can go A, B, C, D, E, F, pick my favorite, my least favorite to favorite, and we'll do that. So obviously you can see we'll start A here so that you guys can see it a little bit better, a little backwards for me, but for you guys watching, you'll be able to kind of pick up on that easy. So obviously A will be here for you guys and F will be there for me. So, let's see. Okay, so which rise we got in here? So, yes, I can tell you that. So I know what the ryes are. I just don't know in what order she poured them in. So I've got the newest 13th Colony small batch cast strength rye that they just released. I've got a dark pumpernickel rye in there as well. I threw in, since I was in Cincinnati over the weekend, I threw in the Silver Grove 2025 rye. Also have an Old Ezra 7 year in there as well. And let's see, I've got we got Top Dogs. Yeah, I forgot. We got beans right there on the thing. So this was just, I think it was a pick that they did. So it was one of the Jack Daniel's single barrel strength. Figured if you're gonna do a rye, that thing's got to be in there. So those are the five, and then she'll drop off the bourbon in a little bit. So, and we'll see exactly what we've got. So excited to kind of get into this thing. Here's the thing, and this is what made me think about it was I find myself oftentimes, and I don't know if any of you are in the same boat or not, but I've found myself, not that I don't, I mean, I love bourbon, don't get me wrong, but I find myself sometimes more intrigued or enamored by what it is that a really good rye whiskey can offer you. I don't want to say that it's more, but as much as I don't want to say that, it kind of is. Like I find that I'm getting more from something in a rye than you do a bourbon. I mean, I think it's because of the rye grain, and as big and bold as those things are, it feels like those really offer up some really tremendous value. So we'll see exactly what stands out tonight amongst all of those. I mean, I've got some really, really good ryes in here tonight. So did I just see there he is. There's my brother, Big Vic. Good to see you, brother. I think I saw James in here too. There he is. Mr. James Lay. Good to see you, brother. All right, so let's get after it. We'll get a little sip of water here and get after this thing. Let me do this, and we will get going here. Okay, all right, let's get after this thing here, and was working on some review stuff the other day. Got a sample of the newest 13th, not 13th Colony, did that review already. That thing is, I'll tell you what, if you guys enjoy 13th Colony and that flavor profile, that new small batch cast strength rye that they released, in my opinion, it's really, really fantastic. So I know they're in about 15 states and then online stuff. So, a little bit more available that they have. So, if you can find it, I would encourage you to buy it. I think it's 90 to $100. Again, age 4 to 6 years, but in my opinion, what it is that happens with that rye that's there, crazy things happen there in Americus, Georgia. And it's just, I don't know what it is about it, but that profile I absolutely love. But anyway, let's kind of get into this thing and we'll go from there. So, hey, Scotty, good to see you, brother. What else we got here? I think I saw James in there before. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with, we'll start with letter A, and we'll work our way through, nose it, kind of give a little tasting, and then just work our way through each one. And then I'll rank them at the end of the night, see if maybe I can pick out the bourbon amongst them and kind of go from there. Well, definitely a rye. I got a 1 in 6 chance of finding the bourbon tonight. So, boy, nice sweetness on this thing too. So a little minty, but really nice. Boy, that's like a really nice mint on that. I'm not getting blown away by ethanol, but very, very very, very inviting. All right. Ooh, love it. Kind of chocolate mint, really nice spice, barrel influence that's there. Um, Proof wise, probably doesn't feel as high a proof as maybe some or a couple of the ones that are in here, but it is one of those things that with that, a little bit of like a late tobacco, more barrel influence, really, really fantastic rye. Hmm. Yeah, with all this stuff tonight, this could be solidarity number 2 tonight. Really like it. A little bit more sweetness up front, kind of then settles into a little bit more of the spice, leather, kind of tobacco, rye notes there on that one. So A starting out with a bang right away. So really fantastic rye right there. Get this thing set. Okay. All right. What do we got here? I definitely prefer rye in the fall and winter. Um, Except a double X. Okay, yeah, I can see that, and I think for I could see why you guys down there in Tennessee are waiting for a little cooler weather to kind of get into all some of that stuff. So, um, and then we can kind of go from let's see, all right, number 2 or letter B, I should say. So I always want to go with numbers rather than letters. I don't know why, but all right. So this is a little more, it's a little beefier here. Feels a little more rye-ish for the most part. Little more, kind of like richness. This feels a little bit more rounded out, a little more kind of decadence behind it. Again, beautiful nose that it has on it. Oh, interesting. Definitely more rye, more barrel notes that has on it. Less sweetness on B, but a little more ramped up. It feels like in proof and the I guess just the I don't want to say the substance of it. It's very um I'll say a little less sweet than A was. A felt like it was maybe balanced a little bit better. B probably has a little bit more richer, kind of heavier, darker profile, more barrel influence that it has. So those are already 2 completely different ryes from a style standpoint in terms of like what you would really want to kind of get after on a particular night just based on what your mood is. So man, A and B definitely different so far. So yeah, and I guess let me know in the chat, if you prefer, I guess your preference, are you a rye person? Are you a bourbon person? And if so, why? And maybe what works for you and when, things like that. I'm always interested to kind of, learn a little bit more from you guys and ladies as to what it is you enjoy and when and why, really. So, we all live around obviously the country, so we all have different, temperatures that we deal with and all of that. So maybe you lean a little bit more towards, a lower proof bourbon or high proof bourbon, low proof, rise, high proof rise, whatever it may be. But it's it's always interesting to hear kind of what that is and why. So yeah, I like John's answer. Rye or bourbon? Yes. It's probably the safest answer right there. So all right, so this is probably on the nose closer to A than it was B. A little more mint starting to come out in this, a little more upfront sweetness. That'd be interesting to see what this one kind of tastes like. I'm kind of getting a little mixture of A and B on the nose. Yeah, definitely more mint. A nice spearmint that A had as well. It feels more like a fresh mint leaf, not that really like fake kind of mint or anything like that. It's not allowed to touch the rice in the house. That's good. Mm, yeah, it's really, really nice. Not really nice on the nose. Ooh, boy, with letter C, I'm almost getting this kind of like honey, mint, chocolate, really nice barrel note that's there. not heavy char, but a nice amount of oak that's on that. Boy, C feels the nicest right now so far in terms of the overall balance, complexity, little bit of sweetness, little bit of that kind of, barrel influence that it has, but all very cohesive, it really feels. So, boy, yeah, C's a really, really nice one. Still feels like a rye to me though. So, all right, let's go to the D. See what we've got. Okay, so maybe the bourbon has showed up at this point. So this feels a little bit more sweet. Interesting when you've nosed, I guess in my opinion, the first A, B, and C feel like ryes. But when you come off of that and then you start to smell what you are perceiving as bourbon, heavier corn, much more of that kind of corn sweetness, even though this has a lot of cherry on it, a lot of cherry, kind of rich tobacco notes. Damn. Ooh, whatever that is, it's nice. I'll tell you that. It's always the D. Yes, JG knows. Always the D. Hmm. Yeah, really, really. I mean, just a very well balanced. It just feels like a very, very good bourbon. I think it is. I mean, I'm not picking up what I think is our rye notes. This just feels much sweeter. All right, we'll find out. Let's give this a quick taste. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight. Appreciate it. Ooh. Thinking D is the bourbon, but man, is that good. Really nice kind of cherry chocolate, great spice, really nice or the right amount of oak influence on that. I feel like I could drink that thing for days. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, knowing what the ryes are, I mean, I know how fantastic those things are, but man, that's a good whiskey right there, whatever D is. So, what's up, Andrew? Good to see you, brother. Um, all right, Renee says, I love spicy rye, caramel vanilla, and the punch of high proof spicy profile and long finish. I don't love the minty ryes, but dark and rich and pour. Yeah, all right. Well, that probably explains why you like a lot of the Jack Daniel stuff. That's kind of what you just described a little bit. Even though you can get still some sweetness, but man, there's an awful lot of richness. Not always like that real like kind of sweet mint note, but they can be there, just not like you get with like a big Jack Daniels or something like that. So, all right, Ethan, what do you got? I normally go with the rye over bourbon, especially if I have a choice when they are finished. Also, love the dill. Oh, all right. So you're more of a dill guy. So that's a little bit more of something in rye that I've not been a huge fan of, admittedly, because to me, when tasting it, it becomes like a very kind of dominant type of note to me. Even though spearmint can be, I'm not like a huge pickle person, so that's probably why for me dill can be a little bit more off-putting. But I get it. There's a lot of people who really like that in ryes, and again, hey, to each their own. So, oh boy, this is interesting. Damn, man, is that a maybe this is a bourbon? There's only one in here, so all right, what was that I just saw? Whiskey says, I think rye people are really bourbon people that enjoy ryes. Riddle me that back. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. I think when you have the right rye whiskeys, I think they fit and work for a lot of people. Again, there's more dominant traits, I think, in my opinion, in ryes that maybe is what allows that to not be a kind of a whiskey that people enjoy. And maybe it is that heavier rye spice or whatever that may be. I'm not exactly sure, but I think when you get the right ones and depending on how early you are kind of like on your like whiskey journey, so to speak, you have a tendency to start to develop things that you like right away. My thought is most people getting into whiskey can relate to sweetness. So therefore, a lot of the bourbons become something that's very popular for a lot of people. But if you maybe get into some of those sweeter, maybe mintier ryes, that's a little bit of a gateway into ryes rather than hitting somebody like with a big heavy Jack Daniels or something like that. That may be like a little bit more like off-putting until they develop their palate a little bit more and start to appreciate what those kind of rye whiskeys have. So, and that's what I learned. I mean, it was just, starting out with all the bourbons, you kind of go through a lot of that and you start to learn what it is you enjoy about some of those things. Ooh, that was close. Almost knocked over A. Jeez. Ooh, man, I like E. I like E a lot. Damn. It's a little bit different. There's a different profile to that. I don't know if that's maybe that pumpernickel that's in here. I haven't tasted F yet, but it almost has like a slight finish feel to it. Man, I was thinking of like throwing in like one of the wild turkeys, but that thing's like 101 proof, and that probably would have just gotten blown away and easy to pick out. So I tried to keep it a little more uniformed in terms of what I was going to be tasting, not to make things stand out or a little bit easier or anything. So I went with what I showed you guys before. So, and again, for everybody who coming in late or didn't know, I've got the 13th Colony single barrel. No, not single barrel. The 13th Colony small batch cast strength rye that they just released. The 2025 Silver Grove, a pumpernickel rye. I've also got I've got an old Ezra 7-year in there, and then I've also got from Top Dog and Renee their Jack Daniels single barrel proof, and the bourbon my wife will drop off in a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean some fantastic ryes in there. So. Yeah, love that, Aaron. It was great. Loved being there. Loved doing the pick and all of that. There it was just a fantastic time. Got some fantastic whiskey for sure. Would love to go back and do another one of those. That's for sure. But yeah, love the cast strength pumpernickel rye for sure. So all right, let's get into letter F and kind of we'll start to work our way back and see what we end up with. I throw the bottles up here, but I don't know if I have enough space. Oh, let's see. You guys can probably get the idea of that. Am I going to have enough room? There's the pumpernickel right there. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to run out of space here in a second. What else do I got? Oh, yeah, there we go. Maybe that's good. I don't know. Can you guys? All right, there you go. There's the there we go. So that's the those are the five ryes in there. So can you guys see that? That's the 13th Colony. So there you go. That's what's battling right there. So you guys get a good idea of. Actually, let's see. Can we go this way and open that up a little bit? Look at that. Magic. All right. Gives me less space for my mouse, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know, Tom. It's going to be interesting to see because, like, right now, I'm going to go back through them and start to kind of rank them a little bit. I wanted to go through them quick, see what they were kind of giving me, but it'll be interesting kind of going back. They were all, I mean, they're all so fantastic. And the hardest part about it, especially for me, with Ryes, is once you start to get certain, I guess, profiles on your palate, they all start to kind of work a little bit like kind of together. So I start to have a little bit tougher time, and I'll see if I can guess, but I who knows. So all right, let's go back with F. And again, we'll do it in again this order. So you guys see it A through F, and I'll rank them. I'll rank them again once I've decided, and we'll go. Basically, F through A. A being this one being my number one for the night in that order. So once we go back through them, I'll start to put them in order at this point. So yeah, I love the Randall. I love that Silver Grove. It's fantastic. I mean, to me, it's one of the best things that I think that they do. So, I mean, with that release that New Riff has, man, it's to me, it's fantastic for the for the money. I think $60 for the bourbon and the rye. Man, you can't beat that. So, what's up, Jay Sills? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping in tonight. All right, let's start to rank them here a little bit. Hmm. Man, a little bit of a maple note on that one. Boy, I'm not picking up I'm not picking up a ton of I'm not picking up a ton of like heat or spice. It's kind of falling a little bit flat for me there with F. I like the nose, but man, I don't know. There was something about it kind of fell a little bit flat for me there. Man, I really like E a lot. He's pretty darn good. So far, if I was ranking them in terms of just the last two, I would definitely put this one behind E, so I could leave that. I think as we go through, I'll start to rank them again a little bit. What I'm thinking is, and hopefully I can find the bourbon. Yeah, I think it's D. D I think is definitely the bourbon. I'm not picking up a bunch of huge like kind of rye spice or the rye traits. Much more sweeter, more decadent kind of feel, especially when you're tasting five different ryes. Man, whatever it is, it's damn good. I'll tell you that. Boy, it's good. Big, heavy, like kind of cherry tobacco notes. Love this thing. Whatever it is, man, it is a that's a rich whiskey right there. All right, let me get a little more water here. Yeah, I would say like right now I'm gonna say D is probably the bourbon. It feels the most bourbony, that's for sure. So I forgot to ask everybody what's your pour of choice tonight. So what's everyone sipping on? Leave it let me know in the comments. Always love to hear what everybody's sipping on throughout the night. So any also I guess along with that, any big purchases? Anybody looking forward to anything new? I know we're coming up on September, so some big releases usually in the month of September. So looking forward to the Four Roses LE. As always, hopefully I can get my hands on it. Love those. I mean, some of those things are fantastic. And then what was the makers? Geez, what was the makers? I just saw it today. I'm like drawing a blank. It's the one that they released it last year. God, I want to say Founders, not Founders. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but can't go wrong with a good old Perdomo there, Jay. Love that. Sitting out on the deck, I would imagine. Stellar age. Thank you, Toby. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's one I'm looking forward to as well. Hopefully, hopefully I can get my hands on one of the cellar age. That's always one I look forward to just from the standpoint of like I think what I saw maybe 12, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. kind of, I think years, something like that. I thought I saw it, like looked at it briefly today, but yeah, I mean, some of the makers, those older ones, man, oh man, some of those things are crazy. Um, the maker's barrel strength, Roger says. What else I get here? Can't go wrong with those guys. Cheers, Mike. All right, Aaron's looking for the Jack Daniels Heritage is on his list, trying to sell a kidney for the WrestleMania 13. So if you haven't checked it out, Marty just dropped, Whiskey Nose just dropped his review of the Russell's 13. Go check that out, Aaron. I should have mine out hopefully soon as well. So, um, but yeah, very good whiskeys, that's for sure. So. Can't go wrong with that, Ethan. Love a good driftless. What's John got? John just finished the New Riff 8-year bourbon. All right, cool. Good to hear that. Man, John's having a good old evening right there. Got a batch 13 hazmat. Hmm. What else we got? All right. Drive with Derm is got the Four Roses barrel proof. Can't go wrong with that. That's always a good one for me. Love all of that. Love Four Roses. I don't know. I'm a big fan of like their single barrels. Obviously the LEs, those kinds of things. You know, those whiskeys on their own are just they're fantastic. You know, again, they don't do great in blinds and all that, but if you know that, just leave it alone. Enjoy a Four Roses for what they are, in my opinion. All right, let's get after this thing here a little bit. So letter C. Man, it's interesting. This got this spicy, citrusy, honey kind of note to it. It's a different profile, one that I'm not like overly familiar with. Like off the top of my head, like it feels like, and I've not had it in quite some time. It feels like maybe it's that the old Ezra 7-year. But again, it's not a profile that I'm that familiar with, but it's got an interesting citrusy, yeah, orange, honey kind of feel to it. Um, Almost gives you the impression of like sometimes what you'd get from an Old Forester with that high malted barley that they have, more floral, softer, those kind of, you know, melon kind of notes, things like that. So yeah, C is really interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing like what that is. Like just looking at these, like I don't know. It's kind of hard, man. Oh man. Oh boy, this is like chocolatey, big, bold. Man, love that. Fantastic. I don't. Maybe it's the Jack. It maybe feels a little bit like the most proofy. Let's see. What was this one, John? 128 on the nose. So it probably feels the richest so far. Man, I could probably, if I was gonna switch, um, I like C for its uniqueness. It's pretty cool. Like it has some really interesting notes to it. Oh boy, try A. Tougher than I thought. So, hmm. I'm thinking maybe Maybe A is the 13th colony. Thinking maybe B is the Jack. All right, let's start ranking these things a little bit here. I'd probably go B A. I don't even really want to put the bourbon in there. I just want to know like exactly what that is. I mean, it's whatever it is. It's incredible. It's hard to kind of rank it like where it should be. But I think just man, overall, I don't know. Do I go like this? Do I put D as number 3? What? Hmm. Yeah, I think D is the bourbon. Actually, maybe C is the pumpernickel. Man, this is really, really difficult. They're all so different. Oh, God, what is E? Man, maybe F is the pumpernickel. Jesus. Man, this is really tough to rank these things, I'll tell you. Man, it really comes down to this is interesting because this is kind of what I was thinking was going to happen. It really comes down to your preference, and I think this is kind of rye whiskey in a nutshell right here. There's so many different unique profiles here that you're just trying to identify, I think, whatever it is right now that's resonating with me. And it's really hard because as much as I enjoy all of these, man, trying to rank it is like the most difficult part. Like I can tell you why I like each one, but trying to put it in an order, I don't even know if it's really with what's up here really very fair to rank them. I mean, I'll do it, but I think we'll leave those 3 I think right there. It's going to come down to C, E, and F as far as my preference for tonight and what it is that I want. And again, I guess this for you, like the question for each of you is, for rye whiskey, I guess what is the profile? I know Renee mentioned it before, but what is kind of your profile for rye? What is it that you enjoy about a really good, let's just say cast strength rye or higher proof rye that kind of like, really floats your boat? I guess that's the interesting part of rye whiskey oftentimes is that they can be just so different. So, all right, let's try it with C, E, and F, and we'll try to rank these last 3. Man, C has just got this really unique, like orange honey citrus note that's very different. It's pretty cool. Like, I want to leave it right there just because of its unique factor. I don't know if it's necessarily better than like either E or F. I'm only putting it there because of its different or uniqueness that it has. We'll see. I'm gonna get through like E and F and see if either of these kind of move. Oof, I'm gonna definitely put F there. That's definitely a bolder nose. Man, that's so good too. I like spicy, a little sweet, a little dill, a little nutmeg, and some dark fruits. Can't go wrong with that. For me, not as much of the deal. It's not just something I enjoy as much, but hey, whatever, whatever is your thing. That's cool. Man, I am really struggling with these last two in terms of what it is that I enjoy more about. I think I'm just gonna do this rather than what it is. I feel like this is the most unique, but I don't know if I enjoy it more than these two. I like the uniqueness of it. I just don't know if I would want it like all the time. That would be the interesting part there. Hmm. All right, let's do a quick little taste down, and we'll see what where these things land. So, all right. Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. Rye, honey, citrus, kind of almost this like melon kind of note. Interesting profile, that's for sure. Not something I feel like I'm overly familiar with. Let's try this. All right, let's go with E here. Definitely less of a sweet rye, more of those like savory, more rye influence that it has. Not as much sweetness, not as much mint, things along those lines. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely prefer E over C. Now let's see what we've got with F, whether these two flip flop or not. Hmm. Wow, boy, what is that? It's almost like a little bit of like a anise, something like that. A little bit more of a heavier baking spice, heavier like rye influence. Maybe this is giving me that pumpernickel. When I say heavier rye, it gives you a little bit more of that. I don't want to say black licorice, but a little bit of that feel that it has. I don't know. I'd probably say that was the pumpernickel. So I'm just gonna put D there because I think that's the bourbon. So I don't really know if I want to rank it like amongst all of those. I just wanted to see if I could identify that amongst the. All right, Eric, what do you got here? So who does a 71 mash bill? Oh, okay, you guys are asking questions. Yeah, we've got our Sagamore coming pretty soon too, so we're looking forward to that. Just got notification that our bottles are being shipped. So yeah, definitely, Aaron, definitely no losers, all just very, very different. So let me go back to A. A was kind of surprising to me like early on. Let me see if it's still kind of holding up with everything else. Like it's the lightest, I feel, but like if I was gonna guess, like of the ones here that are maybe the lowest proof, the Silver Grove Rye, I think was like 110 and some change. Yeah, 110.2. It could be that, but I'll tell you what, man, letter A is really, really holding its own. Um, yeah, those cat's eye boo eyes we've got, those are all coming from High West, lower proof cast strength, um, High West stuff, boo rise. So crazy stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I mean we're really looking. Those should be before too much longer. I know we've got Sagamore that we're working on. So yeah, some really good things with the mash and journey. So good stuff. That's for sure. All right, let's go with B and C. Man, that is, I mean, that nose that this thing has is just like rich caramel maple. Man. The one thing that's not standing out to me is the Jack. I thought for sure that would. I mean, maybe this feels like it's maybe the 13th colony, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's either the 13th colony or the Jack Daniels. Man, it's good though. Yeah, I would say A. You could probably flip flop this one, but it's an interesting, really well done like rye whiskey. Even though it's lower proof, maybe not as big and bold as some of these. There's something about A that I'm kind of really digging. So, what's up, Brian? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Appreciate it. What's up, Richie? I don't know if I said hi to Richie or not. So good to see you, Richie. Oh man, the Corbin Cash stuff. I thought about throwing it in here, but it probably would have stood out like so much. I mean, it's a very unique rye that I decided not to throw it in here, Aaron. But absolutely love the Corbin Cash ryes. Man, it's really tough. I'm having a I'm having a difficult time. All right. I think I'm gonna leave it. I think I'm gonna leave it in this order. So um I will summon the bourbon stuff now. Oh boy, you guys are all right. So whatever the order is, and if D is the bourbon, actually I'll keep that. I'll keep that as a little surprise at the end for what it is. Now now I see why it not only stood out, but why it's it's so good. So all right, so let's do this. So let's see where we got the little thing here. All right, so we got the little folded piece of paper that was deposited here. Yes, D I'm gonna say is the bourbon, but well, let's show you. Should I show you what the bottle is in the event in the event that D is not the bourbon? I will show you what the bottle is. Should I show you? Come on, give me some yeses. Thumbs up. No, yes, whatever. What do you want? You want to know what it is before I reveal? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so Paul, okay, everybody wants to know. Nobody wants to wait any longer. So a lot of yeses coming in, it looks like. So okay, all right. So here is what was chosen as the bourbon tonight. So this is Jay West from Shared Pour, his brand, and this just happens to be the Raven. So this was probably, in all honesty, going to factor into my bourbons of the year. I'll tell you what, man, drinking it, it wasn't feeling like it was drinking 128.8 proof. This is batch one, by the way. So man, I'll tell you what, that was an easy drinking, um, almost 129 proof bourbon right there. I'll tell you what, if you guys haven't gotten on board with what it is he's doing, probably Jay, probably. I would have forgot. You guys would have been like, "What the hell is that?" So anyway, he's got some amazing stuff there. We're actually going to be there in what would that be? September 12th, I believe, is what it is. So yeah, we'll be there. Throw that up here. Oh, you guys can't even see that. Yeah, can you see it there? No, you can't. Whatever. We're gonna put this down here. Forget it. You guys saw what it was. Yeah, nothing close to it, but again, she doesn't know. She just knew probably it was a good bourbon. So, and it was in my little area back here. So she didn't have to go very far. Yeah, haven't had either of those, Mike, but I've got to imagine they're good ones, that's for sure. So anyway, all right, so let's go. Obviously, last to first, B being first, and C being last. I mean, again, there are no losers here, but so okay, so in glass C, technically last place. Um, Lord, how was that possible? That's not what I was getting at all. I'm surprised as heck, but letter C is the 13th colony. I am really, really shocked by that. When I was doing the review, it was much richer on its own than it was in this flight. And usually there's a very distinct, almost like chocolate pecan pie. And maybe as you go to it now, rather than mixing it in very quickly with some of the others, that jumps out. But it wasn't coming through. And I absolutely love, love, love this rye whiskey, especially on its own. What was the proof on this one? 120.7. I'll tell you what, these things were drinking pretty darn easy tonight for the most part. But anyway, letter C was the 13th colony. So, all right, letter E was in, let's just call it, well, to make it simple, let's just call it fifth place. Letter E, boy, letter E was the Jack Daniels. Man, there are some hitters. It's a hell of a lot easier to taste these things and get a lot more of the feel of it when you slow down a little bit. That's for sure. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful rye whiskey. They both are in their own right. So, sorry, John and Renee. It was not standing out as Jack to me. I think the problem with rye, and again, this is kind of an interesting, you know, obviously non-scientific blind, but when you do these things this quickly with different profiles, I'm finding it difficult to, I guess, to really choose what it is you like about each one because things start to really mingle together in different ways. But once I've taken a little bit of a break, you start to really pull out some interesting more more than what I was getting before when I was going through some of these things. But I mean, two of my favorites. I mean, these are two of my absolute like favorites on their own. So, like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, oh man, it's like just kind of interesting to see where this stuff is all falling. So anyway, we'll go with next in line, letter F. Letter F was the new riff. Oh, that was interesting. Maybe I said that. I don't know. Did I say that? Oh, I thought that was Ezra. Wow, that's crazy. I thought maybe that was it wasn't very familiar to me. It does feel a little bit lower proof, kind of like A does a little bit. But letter F, yeah, letter F was the new riff, which is the Silver Grove. So, man, interesting. Very, very interesting. So basically that's crazy. That's leaving the Ezra 7-year and the Pumpernickel as my top two ryes. And let's see, letter D was the Reveries. So that was the bourbon. So fairly easy to pick that out with that kind of sweetness and everything that it had. I mean, it had a lot going on, but beautiful, beautiful bourbon for sure. So, all right, so we're down to A and B. Man, man, it's either going to be this. I mean, I don't know. There was something about A that I was kind of digging, but an A is the old Ezra. There's just something very different, unique, cool about A. It has, I don't know, this texture, this richness that it has. It feels a slightly lower proof, but that spice and balance, everything that it has, like, is just so, like, dialed in. There's something about that that Ezra that is just kind of standing out. It still feels rye, like, forward. Um, but yeah, so then obviously that's gonna leave letter B, which is the Middle West and the pumpernickel rye. So there was kind of the winner throughout the night was the Middle West cast strength pumpernickel rye. I mean, that thing is just fantastic. Boy, that's got a lot going on. Maple, man, oh man, that thing is like that is a beast right there. That's for sure. So, man, I'll tell you what, 13th Colony and Jack being down here is very surprising to me. Man, I almost feel like I freaking messed it up for crying out loud. Man, that was a good one. It just, I think what happened was, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's just they're all fantastic ryes and a bourbon in their own right. Like, I love each one of these for different reasons. And this was just kind of the fun part of blending a lot of these things together to see exactly what you would kind of get. The more you kind of go back to these, mm, the more you start to pull out much more uniqueness than I was getting, like, right away, kind of blending some of these things together. But I mean, aside from that, this is the fun part. I haven't done like a rye blind in quite some time, and it's interesting. And maybe A jumped out, which was the Ezra, because of because of how different it was. I'm not exactly sure. It was just very rounded. There was something about it. Proof wise, what was this? 114 proof. So it's not like it's super low. Um, kind of close to this. What was the pumpernickel? 126.56. That was a big one. Silver Grove. Yeah, 110.2. So they ranged, but the proof was not jumping out necessarily to me with all of these. And again, I think it was a lot having to do with your palate becoming very acclimated to proof. So a lot of it was working a lot together. But I'll tell you what, on their own, I mean, these are some of the best. I mean, I'll say Jack Daniels. I mean, they could be some of the best. I mean, rye whiskeys, those Jack Daniels barrel proof ryes, some of the best whiskey in the world. Like, I mean, they're fantastic. Obviously, some better than others or whatever it may be. But overall, that profile, I mean, amazing. I love both of these for what they are. Call it what it is. I mean, the how they kind of fell tonight is not a identifier for in what order. Like, if I was going to choose these like right on my own as far as what I was going to reach for, these two would probably be at the top, along with, I'd probably rank these two as the top. Well, maybe not the very top. I'd maybe put this one. This could be, A, B, and C. Let's call these three A, B, and C. Throw this one in there. This, I would have honestly, if you would have given me the option of what to choose, this would have been probably the last one I chose. But I don't know. It's not how it fell tonight, but it was very interesting. So there we have it. There's a very non-scientific rye blind with one bourbon that was mixed in. I mean, the bourbon that was there really stood out like a sore thumb. So, but it was a absolutely incredible bourbon. Fantastic blind. I mean, I'm glad I picked the ones that I did. I thought I would have had a different order for sure, but it didn't work out that way. So something again, maybe this is just how ryes shake out in blinds versus bourbons. Like bourbons feel like maybe there's a little bit more of an interesting kind of transition. This didn't work out that way, but anyway, it is what it is, I guess. So, all right, so we're a little over an hour, but hey, guys, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Hopefully, everyone uh, learned a little something from these things. I mean, I think you guys already know exactly what it is you enjoy and why and all of that, but. This was the fun part about doing one blind. It just gives you a little different perspective of what you're tasting. Even though I knew what the bottles were, I had no idea what that thing was, but crazy. I'm shocked as to how the order fell, but again, it is what it is. So, but anyway, with that being said, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Glad everybody tuned in, had a good time. And I'm looking forward to, let's see, what is next Tuesday? Am I going to be around next Tuesday? I believe I am. So I should have something else fun. We'll see exactly what we can come up with, but we'll put something together, hopefully a little entertaining. So with that being said, thanks again, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And as I say, it's about the journey, not the destination. Cheers, guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you when we see you. Cheers, guys. Thanks again.